All right, so for this unit, we're going to be talking about solving equations, and we'll be doing all sorts of different equations. For the first day, we're just talking about solving multi-step linear equations. Okay, so to do that, to solve a multi-step equation, we will use inverse operations. All right, inverse operations are just the opposite of one another. So for example, if the inverse operation of adding is to subtract and vice versa. So the inverse operation of subtract would be to add. So that little double arrow means it works both ways. The inverse operation for multiply would be divide. And then the inverse operation for divide would be to multiply. So it can also go both directions. When you're doing your inverse operations, you can only do that with like terms. So things that have the same variable, like 3x and 5x, or you just constants, 10 and -2. Okay, so let's look at some basic one-step equation review. All right, so I have x plus 10, or x plus 4 equals 10. If I want to get x by itself, so the whole point of solving an equation is you want to know what does x equal in this situation. Okay, so to undo the adding 4, you will do the inverse operation, which is just to subtract. And when you do something to one side, you do it to the other. These will cancel, bring down your x, your equal sign. 10 minus 4 is 6. Then over on the next one, 12 equals x minus 4. To get x by itself, I would need to take this minus 4 and add 4. So these would cancel. 12 plus 4 is 16 equals x. Okay, and then next one I have 4 times k equals 20. Inverse operation of multiplication is division. So these 4's will cancel. K equals 20 divided by 4, which is 5. And here I have m divided by 4 equals 2. So the inverse operation for division is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. These 4's will cancel because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So m equals 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, so that is just your basic one-step equation. So now let's look at these 3, which are your multi-step equations, but you have just a variable on one side of the equation, well, with the exception of the second. Okay, so on this first one, 2x minus 12 equals 32. You want x by itself, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 12. So instead of subtracting 12, I'm going to add 12. It goes away. Bring down the 2x equals 44. 32 plus 12. Okay, now I have 2 times x equals 44, so I'm going to divide by 2. 44 divided by 2 is 22. Okay, on the next one, when I see problems with the variables on both sides, that's what I always work with first. You do not have to, that is just what I prefer to do. Okay, so I am going to add this 2x over to this 10x. Okay, I'm going to bring down my -3. 10x plus 2x is 12x. Bring down my equal sign. Those cancel out. Bring down the 33. Okay, the next thing I want to do is get this 12x by itself. So I want to take this -3, I want to add 3. to both sides. So that'll go away. Bring 12x down. 33 plus 3 is 36. Okay, and then I want to divide both sides by 12. So x would equal 3. And then the last one, I want to start by moving this negative 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Get 2/3 x, those go away, equals 48. All right, so here, what I would do here, it's 2/3 times x, so you could say you're dividing by 2/3. But the same thing as dividing by 2/3 would be to multiply by the reciprocal. A reciprocal is just the flipped of the fraction. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, and so a reciprocal is just to flip the fraction. All right, so over here, these will go away. And I'll just have x. Now over here, I'm going to multiply 48 times 3 and then divide it by 2. So 48 times 3 is 144 divided by 2, and you get 72. And that is your answer for that one. Okay, and then you will take a look at the back. The back here you have distributive property. Okay, so you have your parentheses. So the first thing when you have this is you want to distribute whatever you have. Okay, so 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 equals 10. And now you're back to a multi-step equation. Add 4 to both sides. 2x equals 14. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and x equals 7. Okay, so on the next one, I'm going to start by distributing into the parentheses first. Negative 4 times 5x is negative 20x. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Then I'm going to bring everything else down. Plus 2x plus 4 equals 50. All right, now this time, these x's are on the same side of the equal sign. So this one and this one are considered like terms. I am going to combine them. I'm not going to do the opposite operation. Okay, so when I do negative 20x plus 2x, you should get negative 18x. I'm going to do the same with the negative 8 and the 4. They are on the same side. Here's my equal sign. If they are on the same side, do not change your signs. Just combine them. So negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. Then I'm going to bring down my equal sign and my 50. Okay, so now I'm back to a regular equation. I can add 4 to both sides. Negative 18x equals 54. And I'm going to divide by the negative 18. So that those would cancel. 54 divided by negative 18 is negative 3. Okay, and then this one, I want to distribute. So 5 equals 1/3 times 2x. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3 x. And then 1/3 times 12, which is just 12 divided by 3, is 4. Then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. 5 minus 4 is 1, equals 2/3 x. Okay, so here, since I'm multiplying by 2/3, this would be a problem where I would want to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. I'm going to do that to both sides. So the 2's go away, the 3's go away. 3/2 times 1 is 3/2. And bring down my x. Okay? And then the last set of problems are your variables on both sides. Okay, so now on the first one, first thing I have to do, anytime you see a parentheses, you have to get rid of that first. So I have 12x minus 3 equals 9x plus 9 times 3, 27. Okay, now, since my equal sign is now in the middle, now I have to start moving stuff around. So I'm going to first, since this is a positive 9x, I am going to subtract it from the 12x. That gives me 3x minus 3 equals 27. Okay, now I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 3x equals 30. And then I'm going to divide by 3. So x equals 10. Okay, then one more, and I'm going to leave the last one for you. All right, 1/2 times 12x is the same thing as doing 12 divided by 2. That is 6x. 1/2 times 6 will give me 3. And then equals 9x plus 21. All right, this time I'm going to start by subtracting my 6x. Now, it does not matter what order you do it. If you want to subtract the 9x from the 6x, you can do that. Okay, I just choose to go with my smaller number. So my smaller number is 6, so I'm going to subtract it over here from here so that these will cancel. Bring down my 3. 9x minus 6x is 3x. And bring down my 21. Okay, now I do not want to subtract this 3 over here. Even though it's smaller, I don't want to do that because that's going to leave me a 0 on this side, and it's going to put more work on you. Okay, so I'm going to subtract this 21 so that those will cancel. 3 minus 21 is negative 18. Bring down the equal, bring down the 3x. Divide both sides by 3. Now I have negative 6 equals x. That is the same thing as x equals negative 3 if you just swap it around. All right, you try that last one and go from there.